I'm going to be making a tent. I have most of what I need, some old drape, some leftover plywood, and I only have to buy a 10-foot closet rod. Basically, it's what it is. It's a closet rod, and a 6-foot closet rod from the local home improvement store. So I'm going to be cutting out 5-foot poles out of both these rods. Now I have 3 5-foot rods. Now it's time to actually make, so this will be the tent pole. And now it's time to make the triangle for the entrance. For that, I'm going to be using some plywood. It's 3/4 inch plywood. The dimensions aren't like super important since I'm actually just like going off the top of my head, but this is about, 3 to 4 inches wide. So I'm just going to use my shortest piece of wood as a guide for length for my other pieces of wood. What's the point in measuring? Beautiful. It's a pretty wide opening. If you look at the base of it, which means that there's going to be more room inside the tent. It's exactly what I want. So I have a smaller piece at the back, and that's where I'm going to mark it. Alright, so now when I turn this around, you can see exactly where that board is going to be going across. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out this portion to create some stability so that the plank is actually going to fit inside there. Alright, so I have adjusted my circular saw until it is giving me an extremely shallow cut. I do not want to cut all the way through the wood, but I want very, very straight lines at both edges. So I cut, and then I just use a chisel to bump out, whatever's left in there. In order to replicate this exact angle on the other side, which you want similar angles on either side for symmetry, I'm just going to put these pieces of wood parallel. Then I'm going to line it up so that it's coming across the corner, and I'm going to have roughly the same distance. I've marked my other planks by just kind of etching in a number 2, and the other one has a number 1 on it, so I know where these pieces are fitting together. So now that I generally know what my angle is, I'm going to be able to line this up. It's still pretty much exactly the same, but it's always good to double check. Alright, so it's almost done. I have, the number 3 and number 4 down. And now what I need to do is I need to drill a hole for my tent post. I have what is called a universal clevis pin and a hitch pin. And you can see that, well, I didn't put my hitch pin all the way, but basically you slip the hitch pin through this, which I'm going to do once I find it. So the great thing about the hitch pin is that it essentially locks the frame. If there is any movement, it's kind of very slight movement. I'll demonstrate. So I lift it up, and that's, you don't get a lot of movement, but once I remove the poles, you'll see that I can just collapse the frame pretty quickly. It's great because it all collapses, it can fit underneath the bed, and so it should be great. The nice thing about doing a project like this yourself is you can be creative. So I etched some wording in the tent frame, and there's the post rolled up with what I've sewn of the old curtains. So this is the finished product. A good sized tent for her to play in. There are Christmas lights strung along the top. Simple, relatively inexpensive, I'm not the best seamstress, so it was time consuming, but should be long lasting.